You're watching Road and Tracked, also known as New Car Spin on YouTube. This is actually a buddy of mine bought this. It is the Grenadier, Ineos Grenadier Trialmaster. Some people call it Trailmaster, but it's actually a Trialmaster. This one is loaded. So obviously there's a rock rail, there's upgraded alloy wheels. You can see this front winch here, right? This thing's just got it all. And I want to give you a rundown here because my buddy ordered this almost 2.5 years ago. He finally took delivery sometime around, well, just around Christmas, and he's put about 1,200 miles on it. So he has, so you can see right there, it says Trialmaster, not Trailmaster. And I want to give you a kind of a rundown here because it's been an interesting ownership experience for him. Get that thumbnail shot there. You also notice here it has this snorkel. It's not really for for a lot of high depth wading. It's really for pulling out clean air when you're out in the bush or whatever they call it. You'll see too, there are rails here to attach things to the side of the vehicle, and power outlets. We have power outlets here that are unique plugs. There's 4 of them on the roof here, one on each, I don't know what those are, grab handles? Anyway, this thing looks amazing, and I can't wait to tell you more about it. The thing that he did, he had to go back to the dealer to get these diamond plates installed. So that was something that had to be done post-delivery. And something else that's post-delivery is the trailer hitch. There's some kind of thing with a trailer hitch. When they took delivery, didn't exist because there's something about the hitch for the US, and I think it's with the NATO plug for the what do they call it? The electronic socket for the trailer. I'm completely unaware of that. Inside, this thing is awesome. You'll notice too, these windows are tinted. Actually, he just got them tinted. XPEL did the tint, and they didn't have the template in the beginning, so now they have the template and they can do the full tint. So if you're having struggles getting your Grenadier tinted, it's because the templates don't exist, but now they do at XPEL. He also got the XPEL front windshield tint as well, and this does have the safari roof. And you do notice that it didn't shut, and that's because with this thing, you really gotta slam it. That's what I love about this thing. You can't be a pansy and just kind of, oh, it's not gonna shut. Nope, you gotta manhandle it, and that's amazing. So it's got some storage under the seats for your things. The key I have here, okay, it is very specific. Lock, unlock. I'm tempted to hit this button. This actually just sets off the alarm, and that's happened several times. He has had an issue, and that is right there. The lock switch is somehow broken. They are replacing that under warranty. That's the only issue he's had with this vehicle so far in 1,200 miles. So this is a real world review. By the way, if you're wondering what this previous owner came out of, it should be quite obvious. He's at home here because he has the L322 or 2007 Range Rover HSE with the V8, supercharged V8. So getting from a supercharged V8 to this thing is quite different. This is obviously a BMW 6-cylinder inline 6, and in other countries you actually get the diesel. So the main complaint he has here, and it's not a problem, it's just a complaint, is that the range isn't very good. And I think it's because they use the same size tank as they would with a diesel, and obviously you get further on a diesel. So here in the US we don't get diesel, we get the BMW inline 6 gas, and I think he's filling up quite often, not because it's a gas guzzler, although it is in his mind. It's not any better than his Range Rover. It's just that the tank is about half the size of what the Range Rover is, so, which he still has, by the way, and he's not going to depart from it, which I'm kind of bummed about. Now, climbing in, let's just close this door here. Oh yeah, you immediately see, let's zoom out, Safari windows. These things are great. They're very manual. They just vent up like this, and they can be removed as well, which I'm not going to do today, and we'll wait till the summer for that. But I am a sucker for overhead switches, so let me put the lights back in auto mode, because I tried to get a cool shot. Didn't quite work. I'll start this thing up. It actually uses an old school key. There we go. You got your warning lights in front of you, and then your instrument cluster here on the panel. So there's a lot going on here. Obviously there's some BMW stuff, but then there's also like very cool manual engagement of your high and low, and then the center lock, and then obviously your front and your rear lock are right here. And then of course there is off-road mode, so you could choose which type of moding you're going to do. There is no air suspension here, so it doesn't raise or lower. This is very, very robust, and it's high up enough, but it obviously won't have the lowering function. This is hard to do with one hand on a camera. Okay, there we go. This is what's cool. These rear lights. Yeah. I don't know why I'm a sucker for that, but I am today. Also, his interior color is a pretty cool choice. There are companies now that do like skins that you can put over, or actually they even do separate like Recaro seats. These are Recaro seats that come with the Ineos, but I like them. I wish they had lumbar. That's my professional review here for you. And what we're gonna do, manual adjusting steering column. And he has his glasses case here for some reason. Don't know why. Get this thing closed. Okay, so this is really my only chance to give you a full-on review of what this vehicle is like. I'm not going to off-road it, but I will tell you, I do like, let's just see if I can show you. I cannot touch the windshield, right? But that's how far ahead of us the roof line is. So when you sit in here, it's like you're sitting in a cockpit. And something that he noted from his L322 is that the visibility here is a little limited compared to the Range Rover. The windows, the sills, you know, with my hand up and my elbow on the door, that's how that wouldn't be a problem on the Range Rover, but here on the Ineos, it's a lower line. With the roof, there's still plenty of roof line. Let me switch the camera. There we go. So I still have space here. Okay. It's just that the visibility outside, and you can see from this angle, not that bad. But I do want to get into how this thing drives, because obviously you've heard a lot about it. And I do have to say the steering is my main concern. It just takes forever. You just keep turning this wheel. Turn. And when you're making a right turn onto a street, it doesn't necessarily turn into the far right lane. So that is a bit of a thing for me. This is still cool to drive though, and I'm gonna kind of give you more of an experience here. I'm gonna stay a little quieter as we go, but in a minute. The pickup from the engine, you know, as far as like the torque and everything, feels pretty good for a car this, or a truck this size. And I do want to say that this feels solid. This thing feels like a bank vault. It's obviously something that is new, so they've had a chance, like compared to like an old 4Runner, for instance. Your safety standards are higher these days, so this will meet that. Hopefully exceed that, obviously, but you can feel it in here. You can feel the solid build. See this? I'm turning out and I'm into that middle lane. So it is a bit of an issue when you're pulling out like onto a 2-lane road. Not necessarily like a one-way road wouldn't be an issue, but when you're pulling out and there's traffic coming, you're definitely at risk. He's also said he didn't like the turning circle. We're going to test that right now. We're going to make it impossible for this guy to do what he wants to do, but I can't necessarily see there's 3 lanes there. Will I make it is the question. That's weird. It's always weird when a 9,000 pound vehicle comes right up behind you and changes out of your lane at the last minute. Okay, so we're gonna go for this. This is all the way. This is to lock. It's not bad. It's just the speed with which the steering responds is the only thing I would say. And he said actually that he got used to this steering speed, let's just call it. Turn in. And obviously it's a safety thing. It's so that you're not rolling your vehicle, but it is also a safety thing when you're not able to like really change lanes. So you can see the input I'm giving, and yeah. It's not a bad thing. It is responding. It's just not responding quickly. But then as you go further into turning, and that's because they said this is geared for off-roading, and that makes sense. In the same way that the Tesla Cybertruck is built for any planet. You know, how often are you going to be on any planet? I'll tell you, not often. But we are going to try and off-road this thing. We do have a trip. A bunch of us are going to off-road our things, and hopefully he'll be able to make it. But one thing you'll notice now, we entered a school zone, and you hear that ticking. That ticking is because I'm going over the speed limit, even though I'm doing 34 in a 35. When it hits the school zone sign that says 20 miles an hour, it thinks I'm speeding. So every school zone in Texas has a sign, but it's only for particular hours of the day. And even here, if I speed up a little bit, there we go. So he said he's complained about it, and I told him to complain about it because a manufacturer won't address the issue unless there's a recorded complaint. And so he complained about it so that they can figure it out. But it's something to do with there needs to be a way to turn it off, and hopefully they can get enough complaints from Ineos owners so that they do finally give an option to disable it. But literally, you just keep driving and you just keep hearing this annoying clicking, and that's going to happen. It's just the way it is. And he's got 1,200 miles on this, or almost 1,300. But that's part of the course when you're like the early adopter, right? Just look at those iPhone or the Apple Vision Pro goggle things. Yeah. Apparently they people have a lot of opinions about that, but I would say that this thing is super cool. And the only other thing I would address here is on the interior. There are heated seats which work very well. There's an automatic climate control which is in auto mode right now, and then the only other thing is there is no heated steering wheel, and that was actually his big complaint. The owner said he wished he had a heated steering wheel, and I could see, because it does get cold here in Dallas once in a while, but it would help to have a heated steering wheel. Anything other than that is just little stuff, I guess. I mean, there's some obvious stuff, but he's happy with it. He's gonna keep it, and I think it's a pretty cool choice. What we're going to do here is we're going to, even if we're keeping up with traffic, I just wish there was a disable feature for that. And there kind of is. People have said, oh, create this shortcut in the shortcut menu down here, favorite, and then do this and then do that. I'm like, nah, that's too much work. That's way too much work. And because of the steering response, I'd normally take that turn right now, but I can't because I just am not used to this steering myself. We'll try this one. There we go. We have the speed, but it takes extra effort. You just end up steering the whole time in this. So when you come into a parking lot, though, that's where you start noticing the steering right away. In some of these Dallas parking lots are pretty tight. think we're just going to park in that spot right there. Well, you know what? We'll go park at the bank. Banks are going to be closed. Yeah. So we throw it here into reverse. And it does shut the engine off with the wheel fully cranked, which is odd because, I mean, obviously you can turn off the stop start feature. There we go. And we have parking sensors. I mean, it has modern stuff in here, but I do want to show you the back of the vehicle. We do have the compass in here, which is cool. When you start it up, it kind of like gyroscopes itself into place. And there's a whole menu here of things. This is a touch screen, by the way. Auto, phone, off-road. We can see our yep, I don't know if I can focus on here that much for you. Well, let me put it in a different zoom. There we go. So statistic wise, so it basically scrolls through, which is cool. You could do your tire pressure. Oh, transfer case. That's good. So you're getting a lot of info here on this thing. They definitely made it with really cool information at hand, even though this thing looks fairly simple. You could see here, average fuel economy is 16.1. No, it's not bad. It really isn't bad. It's just that I would think that, you know, coming from a Range Rover, like the 322 specifically, not the L405, is you'd come into this and you'd be like, yes, this is the Defender I've always wanted, kind of thing. But let me show you the back. Open the door a little bit more. There we go. The detents for the door are super strong. Everything about this that's physical is super strong. Climb on out. Okay. Oh yeah, I gotta unlock all the doors now. There we go. Ingress, egress from this back seat's pretty cool, although I wish it did have a handle here so it's easier to get in and out of. It is quite a step. Without these slides or these side steps, it would be really hard to get up in here. It is a massive effort. We have a power outlet back here, and let's open this air vent all the way. And what else? Oh yeah, the seats. Okay, so if I was like, hey, go camping, this is how the seat folds. So it's not flat to the back. Man, I love that door sound. Obviously we have this little door and visibility out the rearview mirror through this little door because of this pillar here, and then this spare tire. Who cares? I mean, what do you really need to see back there anyway? We have the metal. This thing's loaded. It has everything. Let's see if I can do this with, well, I can't do it with one hand, but this folds down. Look at that. And apparently, what he got from the dealer was, information-wise, is you could get like a bone stock Ineos Grenadier, and then you could like outfit all of it, and it would end up being like a fully loaded Ineos Grenadier. Or you can get the Trialmaster and then add some features to it, and it would be a fully loaded Grenadier. So basically every Grenadier could be fully loaded, whether it's the Trialmaster or not. I guess it's just a package kind of thing. It's nothing else other than that. We have our rails tied down in here. There's another bone stock one without the rails, where the whole floor is without this. We have a non-skid, non-slip, oil spill resistant coating here. It's kind of nice. An outlet that's robust. Everything in here is robust, but you could see through, hopefully there's a cool drawer system people could come up with about that height so that you can actually like lay things down in here, if you know what I'm saying. And of course you cannot close this door. Well, you cannot close this door. You have to close that door first, right? So you would have a collision here. That would not be very good right there. So if you see used Ineoses with scratches on their ladder, it's because they closed the wrong door, which is why, you know, I'd be very hesitant to take this to like a car wash place that doesn't know what they're doing. Oh yeah, he did have another issue here. His spare tire. There's a kit that you can get where this is like a cubby hole with a little key, and you can store stuff in here, like a, you know, tow rope or whatever. He just has this blank. So one day he took that off just to see what was in there, and his spare tire had the valve stem, but not the valve. So when he went back to the dealer, they installed the little that little stem, the valve in there that holds the air in wasn't even installed. So they fixed that for him. So he had that issue with his spare tire. He's got the issue here with the locking, right? And then of course the other issue is that speed limit warning sensor needs to be disabled. There's no way that they can get away with that. Other than that, this thing's pretty good. It sounds, as you can hear, it sounds very solid. The BMW engine will just sound better with age as it wears in, and he did a really good job. I'm so proud of him. Everybody, give him a thumbs up for that. Comment on what you think of this color. He's not too sure about this color. He wishes he got something a little lighter. He didn't expect this gray to be this dark when he ordered it, but I think you can't go wrong. I told him he had to tint the windows, so yeah, it looks good. It's got this diamond plate on here. I mean, everything about it's cool. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.